Hello, my lovelies. This is Dr. V. Welcome to a new timeless love reading. This is for all signs, all twin flames and soulmates in the collective. And today we're going to go in deep. What I'd like to do is look at the energies between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So we're going to look at what the masculine is thinking and feeling about his feminine, what the feminine is thinking and feeling about her masculine. And then we're going to look at messages that the masculine specifically has for his feminine, things that he wants her to know, which he may not have been able to communicate to her in the 3D, right? Many of you are going through a deep connection right now that feels like it's very much in that fifth dimension, right? You may be having dreams of one another. You may be having synchronicities, but some of you may be in some form of separation where you have little to no contact, and you may not be communicating too well in that 3D world. So we're going to look at what the masculine, your masculine, would say to you if he could. And then we're going to look at the energy of your connection together. And then we're going to look at where this connection is going next. Like, where are you both headed? What is going to go on in that next phase of your relationship? So without further ado, let's get right into it. So this is the divine masculine's thoughts, feelings, and energy towards his feminine. Okay. So there's been, I'm feeling a lot of swirling energy going on in the collective at this time, especially within the energies of the divine masculine. I feel that the masculine has been kind of drifting for a while. Like, they've been feeling a bit aimless. They've been feeling a little bit scattered and split in their energies, in the way that they focus in on their, what is important to them. What are they doing with their time? What are they focusing on? And I feel like one of the primary questions for your masculine, if you are the feminine watching for your masculine, and please do know that these are energies. They don't have to be, specifically gender related. So these are masculine and feminine energies. So please do take the messages as they resonate. And of course, make sure that you understand that this is a general reading. So, not everything that we pick up on here may be specific to your situation. So I feel that one of the primary questions that the masculine is asking himself at this time is, who is he and where is he going, especially in his emotional life? It's like, who does he truly want to be? And why does he have such a hard time communicating that, not just to himself, but also to you? And so I feel that there was a lot of pleasure that your masculine felt with you. I mean, when you came together in this connection, for wherever you are on this journey together, the masculine really appreciates the amount of bliss and joy that he has felt with you. When he thinks of you, he feels a tremendously positive, beautiful energy. He really feels that in your physical and emotional connection, there was so much pleasure, so many things that he enjoyed doing with you, so many things, just simple moments that he shared with you that brought a lot of that, what we call peace to a restless heart. peace to a wounded heart. You know how oftentimes we feel that we've almost been, wandering the desert wastelands of life. I feel like that's the energy that's coming through from the masculine right now. It's like he felt that he has wandered through life in like almost like a desert, like an explorer wandering through the desert looking for that water to drink. I don't know why Spirit is giving me a very specific vision. And so it's almost like when he found you, he found that water, as in like you were life-saving to him. You were a refreshing energy. You completely reinvigorated him. He almost felt like half dead before he met you, because see, we're getting the Judgment here, and I do feel that this is exactly what he wanted when he met you. He was kind of struggling with who he was. He didn't, he felt that there were like paths along his life that he was going down that weren't going anywhere. Like he felt like he was hitting a lot of dead ends before he met you. He felt that things were always kind of going in the wrong direction. And he almost felt like he couldn't trust his own instincts. And so this was a really big spiritual lesson for him. And he was going through that time, that time of how can I truly reinvent myself? Like, I want to look at life in a different way. I want to live life in a different way because I'm really not happy with the results that I've been getting. And so he really was looking for Judgment, which is all about rebirth, rejuvenation, bringing a new energy into your life. And that is why when he met you, it's like, look at this. It's like you were and are that true love that he was looking for. This is the romance of a lifetime. So he knew this when he met you. And it's like you helped him to redefine himself. That is something that he has never and will never forget. Even if right now you have been struggling, even if right now you are in some form of separation, one thing that he will not ever forget and will always appreciate about this connection is that you literally breathed a new life into him, because he really was feeling like this wanderer, right? Like this, person who had been just aimlessly wandering through life, not really making the best decisions, like kind of coming a lot from the perspective of his ego. And then it's like he realized that this wasn't getting him that far. But, we all have that, right? We all have to deal with the egoic sides of ourselves. And it's so easy as human beings for us to be triggered by those sides. So that's very natural. But I'm feeling that one of the things that really kind of obstructed the two of you getting into the deeper levels of intimacy, because I feel like there was a lot of love here. Okay, there's a lot of love, a lot of romance, a lot of pleasure, a lot of great things here. But there was something that was blocking the, where you feel like you're kind of hitting up against a glass ceiling, like you feel like you can only go so far with this masculine until you hit some sort of a ceiling or a wall, right? And I feel that that comes from this Emperor's energy. So one of the things that your masculine tends to default to, I feel like this is kind of like his safety zone, his comfort zone, the way in which he feels most empowered is when he goes into his emperor mode. And that means that it's like he wants to feel like he's in control of his life. Even if he's choosing to wander aimlessly through the desert, it's like he wants to feel that he has some sort of freedom to choose. He doesn't like, this is not a masculine, these are not masculines who like to feel like they are not given a choice, even if that choice fails miserably, blows up in their faces, right? It's like, they're like, you know what, even if I fail, I'm happy that I had the free will. I'm happy that I had the choice to fail, right? So sometimes they can be a bit stubborn. They can be a bit pig-headed. They can sometimes say no to something before they say yes. So some of the things that they have really been struggling with is their own resistance. And I feel that that may have kind of showed its ugly head in your connection. And I feel that because of that, they have a hard time communicating with you at times. And so one of the regrets that they do have that is coming through is that they didn't recognize, weren't able to quickly address issues of communication between the two of you. See, with this Page of Swords, it's like, he really struggled to communicate his real thoughts and feelings. And oftentimes, he would hold back. And it's like you could feel this energy, right? You could feel this energy of him holding back. You felt like he shared with you, but then he stopped at a certain point. Like there was a certain point at which you did hit that wall where you couldn't go further, where you felt like maybe there was some sort of something more in his heart that he wanted to say, but couldn't say, wouldn't say, and was actually even hiding those thoughts and feelings, because I think one of the issues of this Emperor's energy that your masculine has, along with the ego, is that they have a hard time communicating, right? So they also have a more difficult time with intimacy, right? So it's almost like, you may have felt that they can come close to you, but then they move away from you. Like when they get really, really close, when you feel like, wow, we're just getting to that next level, we're just getting so close, that's when they kind of get scared or freaked out and they kind of like pull away. And part of it is the ego. Part of it is just what they have been used to, like that comfort zone of that Emperor's energy. And so you can see, right, like how they sit on their throne. And it's like, sometimes you may have even felt that that's what he's like, oh, why does he always kind of sit on his throne like this, full of pride, full of sometimes false pride, sometimes like trying to cover up his mistakes, or sometimes, getting a bit defensive, wanting to have the final say and the last laugh, like not against you, but kind of in their personality overall, right, in general. And so definitely when they met you, they were in some sort of a transition where they were kind of rethinking these things. Like they were realizing that some of these qualities, some of the qualities that they have in their personality wasn't serving them well, right? It wasn't getting them where they wanted to go. And like they knew that you were their true love, right? So it's like, it's almost like it's the energy of knowing that you don't want to act like that towards your true love, towards your twin flame, your soulmate. But you can't help it because there's years of conditioning here, right? Years of experience and conditioning. And so what I'm feeling here is that his energy towards you currently is that he wants to come closer to you. He wants to ask you to forgive those qualities in him. And he wants to be able to meet you halfway. Like he wants to be able to give you the love, the relationship, the connection that you want. And I feel that you are very much mirroring each other at this time because you're both, coming through in this energy of wanting a new beginning, right? And he's also hoping that you are mirroring him in that energy, right? Because he may not know for sure at this time. And so this is a beautiful energy for him to have towards you because it tells us that he is hoping to have a fresh start. He's hoping to reinvent himself. He really wants to do things differently than the way he has done them before. Okay, so now let's get into the divine feminine's energy towards her masculine. So here are the feminine's thoughts, feelings, and energies towards the divine masculine. Wow. So this is really, really wonderful, because I feel like this really shows us, feminines who are watching this really shows us that you are completely aware. Okay, you're completely aware. If your masculine has tried to kind of put walls up and kind of, tried to evade certain things, evade certain conversations, or if he's tried to evade, really opening himself up to that deeper level of intimacy, this tells me that you are onto him. Like you already knew this, like you already figured this out long time ago. And it's kind of, it's kind of interesting, because it's like, it's something that you have known for a long time. And it's something that you have sought to deal with in a very positive and empowered way. Okay, so I'm feeling that, first of all, there's a lot of positive energy here. It's like, it's like you have been, it's almost like you've had X-ray vision. You've had this kind of X-ray vision about your masculine, in that you probably were the only person in his life who has been able to see through his kind of tough guy image, see through that emperor's energy. Like you've been really good about that. You've been really sharp about that. And I feel that you have learned to make the most out of that aspect of your masculine. Because see, right now, it's like you want the two of you to come together, Two of Cups. Okay, you love him. That is so clear. You love him, and you want this connection to blossom. But what I love about this, though, is that even though things may have been difficult, what I see here is that you have really stayed on firm footing, as in, like, you have not let his tendencies, sometimes his tendencies for miscommunication, or being unable to communicate his feelings really well, like sometimes being a bit defensive or being a bit standoffish, right? Sometimes, just being like hitting a raw nerve. I feel like you understand that there are aspects of your masculine where it's like certain things people say or do, they tend to hit a nerve in him, and he gets triggered in certain ways, and that trigger kind of makes him either do one of two things. Either he steps forward and tries to fight it out, right, coming from that ego's energy, or he steps back completely and kind of disappears for a little while. So he's very much in a fight or flight kind of situation. But I think you have realized this long time ago. This is not a mystery to you. And what you have done is you have accepted that aspect of him. And so what you've done is you've worked your best with it. And I do feel that you do mirror each other in certain forms of that as well. Because see, what I'm seeing here is that as much as you love him and as much as you want this relationship to blossom, there are also certain things that you have not been ready to openly discuss with him. The Seven of Swords is also about communication. It's also about holding things back. There have been times, I feel, where you have literally, you have been so frustrated with your masculine that you have literally wanted to just kind of run off into the night. Like you almost wanted to, wanted to withhold your heart from him in those times. And that again is that Seven of Swords energy as well. It's like you try to use your mind, your intellect, your logic, to try to ward off that defensiveness. You've used it to say, you know what, if you're not going to give me my worth, if you're not going to openly communicate with me and tell me what you're truly thinking and feeling, then you know what, I can do the same as well, because I'm not a doormat. Right? So this is a very powerful energy coming through from the feminine, which I absolutely love. It's like you have a wonderful balance of saying, look, you cannot take advantage of me because I will withdraw, my affections from you if you get out of hand, as in if you are, crossing the line, if you're not giving me equal amount of love and respect and care that I am giving you, I can draw that line too. As much as I love you, as much as I care, and as much as I want us to be together, I'm no pushover, I'm no doormat. And so this is a really great energy because, see, you also want him to be this King of Wands. This is something that you know that your masculine has within you because you've seen it in him, right? It's one of the things that made you fall in love with him in the first place, is that, you loved the man of action that he always has been. Like, you love the fact that he is, sexy, exciting, fun, gorgeous. He even if he is like going back to that desert vision that I had, like even if he is aimlessly wandering around the desert, boy, does he look gorgeous doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? He looks gorgeous doing it, and he makes you think that it's actually an adventure, even if it's a wild goose chase. I mean, that's how charismatic this masculine can be. Even if he is just going around without purpose, trying to discover himself, he still looks awfully sexy and fun doing it, right? And so I feel like what you truly want from him is to bring that energy back, because I do feel that energy kind of has gone down in the past few months, where he's been struggling, where that kind of sense of adventure that he may have had before, that boldness that made you fall for him in the first place, like he literally probably swept you off your feet. Like, when you met, you probably felt like this incredible rush of energy from this, because these masculines are extremely powerful in their energy. They're very bold, they're very sometimes they're in your face, but in a really cool way, not in a way that's going to put you off, but in a way that's going to get your attention, right? And I feel like he really got your attention, like poof, he really got your attention, and then you just like could not take your eyes off each other. You could not in that initial encounter, there was so much passion, there was so much pleasure. And I do believe that is where, that same energy came from him, right? Is that there was so much pleasure, so much excitement, so much, high moving, fast moving energy between the two of you, that what you are wanting is you want this man back. And I feel that you feel that in the past few months or so, your masculine has kind of lost that enthusiasm. And, that's also natural too. We're all human, we all have ups and downs. We go through these kind of phases where sometimes we're feeling extremely energetic. We're feeling like, yeah, I can just conquer the world. I'm so full of happiness and enthusiasm and excitement to do everything that I want to do. And most of all, I'm so inspired by my person, the person that I love. And so I feel that for a time, he was extremely inspired by you. You brought a lot of needed grounding, but also a lot of excitement into his life. And I feel like, see, this is the thing. This masculine can be a bit, as exciting as he can struggle with being grounded. And I feel like you gave him that grounding energy. So you were a wonderful balance to him. You balanced out sometimes his kind of like hyper energy. And I don't mean that in any kind of a negative way. I mean, he just tends to be very energetic and because of that, a bit dissipated, right? Like I said, sometimes ending up a little bit aimless, but always finding his way back. But you were very neutralizing to that, and he needed that. That was part of that judgment energy. That was that energy of wanting to do things differently, wanting to finally kind of, put down roots, wanting to be more grounded, more down to earth, more practical, but in a really fun and passionate way, because I think he realized, and you both realized together, that if he continued on like that, it was like burning the candle at both ends, and it wasn't going to work for you guys together long term. And so I'm really feeling here that you want to say yes to this connection, even though, whatever these challenges are that you guys have been going through. But this is so beautiful because you have really kept yourself really optimistic about this. I feel that you have been doing a lot of inner work for your own healing, for your own well-being. You've been doing a lot of work towards your own spiritual expansion and empowering yourself, feminine. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful energy coming through, because I do feel that this blossoming also is not just about the two of you together and how you want this connection to blossom, but it's also about you, feminine, blossoming yourself. As in, even if your masculine has had to step back in order to kind of regroup and reassess where he is in his life and try to, kind of fix some of the things that have been going wrong for him, you have been so wonderful in taking this time to really focus on your own joy, your own peace, so that when you do come back together, when you do, I love this, when you do both come back together and say, yes, okay, we are in this together, we're going to move on together, we're going to deal with whatever these issues are, and we're going to move forward. So you are preparing yourself for this because you are extremely optimistic. And I feel that vibrationally, you do feel it. You do feel that even though you've been going through a struggle, you feel extremely optimistic that it's going to turn itself around, specifically this summer. So I really love this energy for the two of you, because I feel like not only is it a time marker in terms of things turning around, things just getting better, like the ending of those more resistant cycles, and then turning that corner into a really new and beautiful cycle. I love the fact that it is all about this summer. So that is very much coming soon. But the other aspect that I love of this energy is that it can also be seen, feminines, as the sun card. So again, I'm feeling like you are really ready and willing to bask in the sun together, as in you are so energetically opening in your heart space. You are so working on empowering yourself that that sun's energy is really shining down on you. It's like a blessing for you, right? It's a blessing that your life is going to be beautiful as you move forward, as you come back together and move forward. All right, so now let's get into what your divine masculine would like to communicate to you, since we see that these masculines right now in this collective have been struggling a bit with their communication, with their words, right? Sometimes they struggle to get the right words out. It's like it's right there, and they still have a hard time telling you, because a little bit of their fear that, will you be open to that? Like, do you understand do you understand their struggles? Like, do they understand your struggles? Like, it's definitely that intimacy, right? So let's get into those messages. So these are specific messages from the divine masculine to his feminine at this time. So let's take a look at each one. I feel like you're on the other side of my every breath. Oh, so beautiful. I love this. So I'm feeling this energy from him, especially for those of you, again, who may be struggling with some form of communication issues or some form of separation issues. He wants you, your masculine wants you to know that even if you have had to step back from this connection for whatever the obstacles may be in your 3D world, at that soul level, he still feels you. He still feels you so deeply. It's like you are part of his breath. It's almost like he cannot breathe properly without you. That is how strong this connection is. Wow, love it. I kept up a facade to the world, but you always saw past that into my soul. Beautiful. So see, I feel like this is very much that energy that we saw from the masculine in the beginning, right? Where we saw that he is he can be a bit of a wanderer, like, he can be a bit of this, that with that King of Wands energy, it's like he can be a bit of this very exciting, very charismatic, really, really fascinating person. But sometimes he does keep up that mask to the world because it's easy for him to do that, especially when he steps into that Emperor's energy as well, because that's his comfort zone. That's the way that he can feel empowered. That is, where it's like he stays in the zone where he can feel like he is in control, right? And whereas when it comes to the matters of the heart and like those deep emotions and that deep intimacy, that's where it's like, it's easier for him to kind of keep up that facade of a really tough, really cool kind of a guy. But, he knows that you saw right through that you've seen through that into his soul from the very beginning. Now, here I feel these two are special messages for those feminines where you and your masculine have been in some sort of struggle or separation. Now, I know for some of you it's been a long time, for some of you it's been a short time. I know we're all on different aspects of this journey, but I feel like this is especially for those of you who have been struggling through that real pain of not being together, right? Our love was too intense for me to handle. I needed to break away. But being apart has been more difficult than I can accept. All right, so I feel like there's something here where oftentimes in the twin flame soulmate journey, right, things can get really very intense because this person may trigger things in us, right? We mirror each other. We already got that mirroring card from the beginning. Oftentimes, especially on the twin flame journey, we tend to mirror each other, and we can bring up our most difficult sides, right? And it's like our masculine holds up a mirror to us, and oftentimes that mirror shows us I don't want to say the negative aspects of ourselves, but the lessons that we need to learn, right, about ourselves, the ways in which we need to grow. And sometimes, again, it's like this raw nerve that it touches, and I feel like they touch those raw nerves in us, and we may touch those raw nerves in them, and sometimes that makes them run, that makes us run. Right? And so I feel like, there was some sort of intense situation here that made the two of you step back. But just know that being apart has been incredibly difficult for your masculine, even if he is kind of giving you an indication of being tough, of being resilient, of not caring. Sometimes people do that, right? Because they just need to show, again, back to that Emperor's energy. They need to show you and the world that they're this really tough masculine, that all is well, and, they are handling it. But deep down inside, it has been truly devastating for them. And that's something that you need to know. Wow. All right, so now let's get into what is the energy of your connection together. Okay, what is the connective energy between the masculine, wow, and the feminine? Wow. Amazing. What is... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Connective energy coming through really, really strong here. And okay, there's a message again, not for all of you, but for some of you. We can take this either literally, or you can take this symbolically. But there is, for some of you, there is definitely some sort of a pregnancy that is that has happened or is going to happen. So if that's something that you don't want, then you may want to think about that right now. Because for many of you, I am feeling that there is an absolute union coming. Because look at this. I want to show you. Look how powerful these energies are as they are coming together. It's like, it's truly incredible. I'm going to go back to this. Wow, look at this. We have pleasure, we have blossom, we have the pregnant empress here, we have growth, and we have the Queen of Pentacles with a baby. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, I don't know what could be a more clearer message from Spirit that there is some pleasure to be had here. There is some pleasure that is coming back into your lives, especially for those of you who may have been in some sort of struggle or separation. If your union is coming, both physically and mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then I think Spirit is saying that it may end up in some sort of a pregnancy. So, you know, if that's what you want, this is fantastic news. If that's something you need to wait on, then just be careful. You know what I mean, right? Just be careful, because you know, sometimes when we have been away from the person that we love, both physically and spiritually and emotionally, especially, I know for some of you, you do have geographical distance as well, and I think that the virus has made things worse. I know that many of you have left me comments and emails and messages saying, you know, I haven't seen him in so long because of COVID, and we can't travel, we're in different places. So I'm feeling that for many of you, there is a union coming, okay? There is a physical union coming. And it's not just a union of like cups energy. It's not just an emotional union. It's not a fantasy union. It's not a union in the 5D. I feel like there is definitely a union coming that is extremely visceral, as in very physical union. Okay, I feel that there is a lot of pent up passion between the two of you that has been bottled up for a very long time, that needs to come out. And it also makes sense to me because we had your masculine in the King of Wands. King of Wands, right? And so that tells me also that he is extremely passionate right now. He is feeling frisky. And I think you are too, because this is connective energy. So I feel like both of you are a bit frisky right now. So you got to be careful if you don't want to come together and, you know, have a baby. So I feel like this is really, really amazing energy coming through. So for those of you for whom that is not the, you know, kind of like that doesn't resonate, The other way that you can also think of this is that there is some sort of a physical union that you both are desiring, okay? Because look at this Four of Pentacles. There's been a lot of hoarding of energy going on here. This is what I mean by the bottled up energy, okay? So to me, this is the bottled up physical and sexual energy that has been in restraint for some time right now, especially for those of you who, like I said, are not in the same place, cannot see each other, cannot travel, or are just in some form of separation, but you know that you want to be back together again, and you're just waiting for the opportunity. So there's a lot of pent up energy, and it is earthy. Okay, we have a lot of pentacles, heavy energy here again, which tells me this is very, very physical. It's very sexual. It's very primal energy that you both have been holding on to. You've been saving this for one another. Okay, that's the energy that I'm getting. You've both very much have been saving yourselves for one another, so that when you come back, you can truly go back to that pleasure that you have always had before, right? So I feel like both of you are looking for a growth in this connection, as in you want to come back together. Okay, you don't want the growth of this connection to be stunted anymore. You don't want to be without each other anymore. You have definitely taken this time. I feel like as you have been in some form of struggle or separation, there has been definite split energy that both of you have been going through, right? Because, you know, maybe they were not ready. Maybe you were not ready. Maybe they got triggered. Maybe you got triggered. Maybe it was just divine timing. Maybe it was right person, wrong time. You know, sometimes, you know, we can, you know, kick ourselves because we feel like, wow, why did I meet the love of my life, my twin flame, my soulmate? Why did I meet them now? Why didn't I meet them, you know, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, when it would have totally worked? And now I'm either, you know, unavailable, or they're unavailable, or we live in, you know, really far off places. You know, what the heck? Why, right? So this is where I feel like, yes, it can be so frustrating when it comes to timing, because I do feel very much that for both of you, there was a split energy in terms of timing and readiness, and, you know, being able to be in a place where you can truly give of yourself 100% to the other person, right? And so I feel that, I know it can be really, really frustrating. I know that especially when it's the wrong person, the wrong time, you know, wrong. I'm so sorry, guys. I meant right person, wrong time. I know that it can feel so frustrating, but the only thing that I can say to you is that we don't have universal perspective, right? Only spirit has universal perspective. Only they can see our lives as a totality, as a whole, right? For us, like, we barely struggle to just live in the present moment, right? Like, we try not to live in the past. We try the best we can not to think too much about the future, because the present is all we really have, right? So we don't know, we can't anticipate all of the different paths that this connection can take, right? All the different ways in which you can have so many opportunities to come together. Only spirit can see that. So if you're right now sitting there struggling and saying, come on, you know, it's right time for me, but it's not for him, or it's right time for her, but it's not for me, or it's right time for him, but it's not for me, like, just have faith that there is a universal divine time, and that spirit, your soul, your guides, they know when the right time is, and when it happens, it will be amazing. And then you will look back and say, you know what, that was exactly when it should have happened, because that's when we were really ready. And so I think this is why what you guys both have been doing during this time, which is very positive, is working on your perception and loving yourself first, because I think you both have realized that it's really important for both of you to have a lot of good self-worth, a lot of good self-esteem, and that whatever perceptions that you had of each other, sometimes it's our perceptions, like the way that we analyze a situation or the way that we analyze the other person, is what gets in our way, right? It's kind of like putting on tainted glasses. Again, because we are not spirit, we are not our angels and our guides, like who have this amazing universal vision. Our vision is very limited to our own limited human body, right? So oftentimes because of that, our perception really takes a hit, as in our perception is limited. It is oftentimes very much tainted by our own egos, our own expectations, definitely what we've been through in the past, our past experiences that make us kind of judge situations and people based on what we've already seen before in life. And this is like extremely scientific. I mean, they've done research to show this already, that the brain is an expert at this, right? It's like this computer that accumulates all of your past experiences and creates almost like a judging system, which is your perception, right? That tends to judge each and every person and situation and gives opinions. So I feel like some of that also got in the way between the two of you, because you both come from two different worlds, right? And so this is really good though. You have become aware that you need to work on these perceptions if you want this connection to grow, because that is what you both really want. And what's so beautiful here is that you have focused on loving yourself. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So you're very good at practicing the self-love. You are very, very good at accessing, you've started to access your inner empress. Even if, the pregnancy part of the reading doesn't apply to you, what I do think applies to everybody is that you have greatness within you. The Empress, she is like just ripe, full of empowerment, self-confidence, self-worth. She has the right perceptions of herself and the world. She knows how to deal with people, situations, and she has fresh new ideas because she is so loving herself. Respecting herself first, and then giving birth to that child or to that new phase of life that you both want. And this is so beautiful. Look at this. You both want this. You both want to come together in the real 3D world. This is something you both very, very much want. I love it. All right, so now let's get to the culmination of the reading. Where is your connection going next? Oh, juicy, juicy. Where is your connection going next? So here is the future energy of where your, oh my gosh, where your connection is, oh my gosh, going. Wow. Oh my, I am loving this. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, wow. Guys, look at this. Look at this. We are totally following through here on your connective energy. What we just saw, look at this. Oh my gosh, we have new beginnings on the horizon. And now, look at this. We have both the Queen and the King of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is the divine feminine and the divine masculine coming together in this new beginning, Ace of Pentacles. I love it. With the Ace of Swords. Oh my gosh, what could be better? Really, what could be better than this? Look at this. So, you guys, you know the struggles that you have been through, okay? So what I'm feeling here very strongly is that you are looking to compromise with each other, as in, this is the energy of really positively looking at what your differences are and agreeing to disagree, because there will always be certain things where you have different perspectives, right? Where you just think differently on those things. And no matter what you do, it doesn't matter what an amazing person you are, what an amazing person they are, you will not see eye to eye on certain things. And that is okay, because you are two separate human beings who came from separate experiences, separate families, sometimes cultures, religions, regions, so much there, right? So the great thing about this is that you are looking for mutual understanding, okay? Flexibility. Isn't this beautiful? Give and take brings rewards. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. You are coming together, look at this, with an energy of balance. Balance, mutual understanding, flexibility, and give and take. I mean, what could be better than this to start easing whatever tensions that you have had in the past? And look at this. I feel that because this energy is so new and invigorating, it's like you feel like you're on a second honeymoon here. It's like getting to know each other all over again. It's like a second renewal. It's like a rebirth. Oh my gosh, look at this. We have come full circle to this Judgment card, which is exactly what your masculine was looking for from the beginning. Rebirth, renewal, second honeymoon, getting to know each other again. And look at this, revealing your innermost selves to each other. Your bond deepens. So now we are getting into the true intimacy, right? We're breaking through the walls and getting deep into getting to know each other's souls at an even deeper level than we knew before. Because why? You are coming home to each other. Isn't this amazing? Look at this, cozy, warm, secure. You feel at home with each other. And you know what I love about this the most, you guys? We talked about how perception has been an issue, right? The way you think, certain ways in which you think, you act, the way you perceive your world, you perceive whatever struggles that you've gone through. Look at this. You're going to have a new beginning here. Ace of Swords. You're both coming at this from a fresh perspective. You're going to come back together with a new way of thinking. And that thinking is going to be based on teamwork. That thinking is now going from individual thinking, kind of like, that emperor's energy. Oh, you know what? I have to, keep up these appearances. I have to keep up, I have to be a certain way, into mutual understanding and thinking in a very different direction. And when you do that, the beauty of this is that leads to a completely new beginning in your 3D world. I mean, isn't that amazing? Isn't that absolutely amazing? It's just a completely new beginning. And what I love about this, and this is why I feel that this Empress energy for the two of you is incredibly powerful right now, is because your masculine and your feminine, they are meeting you exactly where they need to meet you as a master of this Pentacles energy, as a king and a queen, as in you are ready to have a real life together. This is no more messing around, right? No more messing around with any kind of games, or not that you play games, but you know what I mean, like emotional ups and downs, roller coasters, wishful thinking, just, feeling, almost being asked to be satisfied only with a 5D connection. It's like, no, that's not good enough. We want to come together and build a real home here. We want a real home together, right? And that's what you deserve. And that is what this Pentacles energy is all about. This is you finally getting that new real beginning, possibly even standing, when it's possible, in front of your family, friends, and community, and having a true marriage, a true commitment, a true union, if that is what you desire. But you are definitely coming together in that third dimension. And for some of you, like I said, it's going to get hot and heavy. It's going to get hot and heavy because you may be adding to your family as you grow this home, as you establish this home, as you come together in the physical world, you may be adding to your family. You may be going from 2 to 3. As this King and Queen of Pentacles, that may be part of your new beginning. So I absolutely love it. And even if it's not, that's fine too. You're just gonna so love this new life, this new home, this new energy that you have together that's grounded, that's full of, you know, all of the real intimacies of life, the pleasure, the bliss, the honeymoon, the everything. Oh, I just love this. So, wow. I hope that you guys got a lot out of this reading. Please do leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of it. And if it is in your heart, please make sure that you like this video and subscribe and join the Live Tarot community. If you would like to have a personal reading with me to go in deep into your very unique and special situation, the link to that is in the box below, as well as the link to all of the oracle decks that I've created especially for all of you who are on this journey. So you know how much I love you, you know how much I believe in you, and I'll see you all on the next video.